The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten, he wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold, and the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You can't make this shit up.
Gives them a lot of firepower where they can pressure the quarterback also when he needs it. And the silver and black faithful will say, boy, that brings back some memories of Jack Swiring back in 1983 with an interception right before the half on a similar play and a touchdown.
You can't make this shit up.
Raiders!
He's got it.
He sure does. He's got Cooper. There he goes.
And Bo Jackson with the 20 and out in front. And only one man to test him. He's running down. He had the angle, but there goes Bo. And nobody catches Bo. Touchdown.
Touchdown! Raiders!
Yo, Trey, drop the verse.
It's going down, fade to black.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
I told you I'd be back. Und I'm back. Yeah, Greater Nation, how are you doing? Check out the gargoyles. I was rummaging through my attic, taking things down to put them into the garage, or actually from the garage, the attic, from the garage, and then from the garage into the new work area out back. And I found my old gargoyles. I'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger type. They're pretty tight. Well, they're tight on my face too, but other than they're a little bit small here. But I thought, really cool. I figured I'd share those with you. You know, got to have your gargoyles. I mean, hell, in the 80s, it wasn't Oakley's, man. Everybody had gargoyles. Oh, there we go. Now I can actually see things, and we can go from here. So now that I can see, I'm going to move this over and get rid of that. So, again, it's time for Ask Captain Jack. I see everybody is in here. I'm going to turn this around now. I got that done. I'm going to make sure the full effect of the glass is on. Looks to be that the comments are flowing. Don't want to jinx it. But, remember when everybody was asking me, hey, what's the number? Okay, let me move in forward here. If you can't see the number, and again, very primitive artwork here. I was busy today. I actually had to go to work for a little while. I'm always busy. But at least you can't say, I don't know what the number is. If you can't see it behind me, actually it's over there too. When I tell you, 813-699-0834. We got lots to talk about. We got 2 hours. Remember, we're starting here on Raider Reaction And then we're going to go over to the Captain Jack page at about 11 o'clock. It might be a little bit after the hour, depending upon if we have somebody on the line. But we will go over, I promise. So, yeah, Steve, trust me, it'll be nice when I get all of this stuff actually up on the new wall. Big L was goading me today because we have one of our Raider Reaction crew members, Sunshine, coming over, and she says she's going to get her studio up. And I'm like, she'll probably have her new studio up before I do. And she just moved here, like today. I hate contractors. I hate them. I effing hate them. If you're a contractor and you're actually responsible for doing the job when you say you're going to do the job, then you are in the minority, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure there's some good contractors out there, but hey, so Lincoln's going to go up there with Musburger? You know, I was going to say, Steve, I got it on the thing. I'll try to do that. You know what? I will. Thanks, Steve. That's a good reminder. Number is 813-699-0834. I'm going to say it. I'm going to pin it. I don't know if it went through or not. Here we go. Now the comment is pinned. So hopefully it's up at the top. When I tell you, it'll be available. I will open the phone line. Obviously, you guys and gals, Raiders, Raiderettes, mates and wenches, know that this is the last time that we are going to discuss, pending further developments, the move to Vegas. Guy, Tampa's in the house. Yeah, Bill, I'm here. You are too, I see. We have other things to discuss. I have to, as Ryan put in, not to steal the thunder, but, and it wasn't Tony Soprano, Ryan. It was Tony Sperano. Tony Soprano, otherwise known as the actor James Gandolfini, he died years ago. So it's, I know what you meant. And everybody used to call, you know, Sperano Soprano, but it's Tony Sperano. Yeah, my day was okay. Brent Musburger definitely needs some help. How you doing, Joe? But again, as is set up in the comments, we didn't just lose one Raider today. Remember, once a Raider, always a Raider. Reports are coming out, and if they are confirmed per sources, and I just saw this. So again, nothing is out officially, but per sources, Tony Klein, the great defensive end for the Raiders that played in the 70s with all of those hardtack teams, he passed away as well. And many of you young folks might not know who Tony Klein was, no, number 84 for the Raiders, but Tony was a very, astute, very athletic, hard-nosed player. And per sources, he has passed, which is unfortunate. In fact, I'm going to read from his wiki. 48 July, so that would have made him 60 years old. Played for the University of Miami in college. I do have some stats from the NFL site. I played for the Raiders from 1970 to 75. It's stated in his wiki that As in 1970, he had a rookie sack record of 17 and a half. Unfortunately, the sacks weren't kept until 92, so that's an unofficial result. But imagine 17 and a half sacks as a rookie. That just shows you how violent, how talented that defensive line was for the Raiders. Remember, they were playing a four-man front too. You had people like Otis Sistrunk in there, Art Toms in there, Tony Klein. Really hard-nosed guys. Now, I'm not sure if Sistrunk was playing back then in 1970, but I know Art Toms was. But the early Raiders, the early 70s Raiders, a staple. And he played, let's see, he missed one game in 71. Looks like he missed 9 games in 74 and missed 2 games in 75. That was before he went over, played for the Niners. In those days when you were cut, a lot of people did the cross bay thing. So he went across the bay. He's had 3 interceptions in his career, and again, all of those sacks. But again, none of the items were official. So again, who knows how many sacks he had? But he was a Raider great. So rest in peace to Tony Klein as well. And as for Tony Sparano, his record as a Raider head coach was just the 1 year where he came in after. I believe it was Dennis Allen. Yeah, 14 would have been Dennis Allen. Boy, I tell you, I was at that game, 4th game in London, where the Raiders were just horrible. Just looked lethargic, and was saying how Dennis Allen. I don't know if he even made the flight home, but. After that bye, first game was for Sparano, was 3-9. Again, not the greatest, but he was there, and Sparano had a hard work ethic. I remember that he had the video where he had the hole, and I can't remember what was in the hole, but it was like the old Raiders or the stuff that was keeping them from winning. And he said that he was going to bury it. They were here to bury it. Well, I know that he won. Those 3 games that he won were at the very tail of the Raiders season, because they went 0-10 before they won their 11th game. And I was there at that 11th game. The Thursday night game against KC in the Oakland Coliseum, the Red Dome, whatever the heck they called it. Can't remember who the sponsor was. I hated seeing red on the Coliseum. But he won that game. I think the Raiders were like won 3. Yeah, they won 3 of their last, I would say 6. So he was like 8, had a 500 record at the very end of that year. It wasn't enough. The Raiders didn't take him in, and he was let go. And followed by, if I'm not mistaken, Jack Del Rio, 15 and 16. And then last year, or 17, yes, that would have been Jack Del Rio. He wasn't taken on. So, who knows what could have happened. I mean, people wanted Del Rio in, and, he did all of the good things that were there. But, Sparano, unfortunately, didn't last, but he was a great offensive line coach. In fact, I think that had it not been for, Cable coming back, there was a possibility they might have hired him back. I'm not saying that for sure, but I know that Sparano was a very capable offensive line coach. I mean, remember when he was in Miami, he brought Miami, let me get that fact again. He brought Miami, I think it was to an 11-5 record. Let me get that. let's see, Miami. Yeah, first year in Miami as a head coach, 11-5. And if I'm not mistaken, the year before, they were like, I think they were like 1-15 the year before. I'd have to check that, but I know that he flipped that Miami team from, I know they had a losing record, but from a losing record, I believe that they were 1-15 to 11-5. Got a wild card playoff game, lost to the Ravens, but played around 500 balls, 7-9, 7-9 in 09 and 10, and then fired in 11 when they went 4-9. But he was a very good coach. So again, rest in peace to Tony Sparano. Rest in peace. If it is true that Tony Klein has passed, rest in peace to Tony Klein. So we're on what we should be, which is where we're going to be talking Raider stuff, but we're also going to be talking about that move. Yeah, I hate this. This is the one that I've been dreading to talk about for a while, but we're going to talk about it. I think if Ruben might not be watching this yet. I know when Ruben watches it, everybody just really gets pissed. But you know what? He calls in. So having said that, I'm going to go to my Google. I'm going to change it over. I'm going to move it on over to my correct Google Hangout. And God, I hope this works. So call in. Line is open, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. I got one line, and we'll talk about that move. I know it's a heady subject. I know that most of the fans that are within the Bay Area, obviously they're pissed. You'd be pissed too. But remember that Raider Nation is the whole nation and the world. Raider Nation is worldwide. Worldwide Raider Nation. So again, the fans that are in the Bay Area they're upset. This is the second time that their team has been taken away. So we'll be listening for that. I got a line open. I have callers that are ready. I'm going to make sure that I keep on my page here for Google Hangouts, because I think I have the sound off, because I don't want that extra sound coming in when I have people that are calling in. So I got the line open. I'm not watching myself right now on Facebook. So we'll see. Line is open. 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. Line open. We got lots to talk about. One thing that I was reading today as well was that they were talking about Raiders with overblown contracts. And I can't remember the sourcing of it, but I was reading it when I was at work when I took a quick break. And this one gentleman put out a listing. I think it was the top 20 personnel in the NFL with, in his mind, had the most overblown or bloated contracts. And number 18 was Kelechi Osemele. And wow. Okay, maybe Osemele, in comparison to all other guards in the NFL, his contract is quite high. But the old expression of you get what you pay for is indicative of Kelechi Osemele's contract. I don't have the numbers. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. To me, what matters is living up to your contract, okay? Living up to your contract. And Osemele has lived up to his contract and played well. he's been in the last 2 Pro Bowls. So I'm going to check see if I can do settings here. I don't see where settings are. Can't find settings. Well, I'm going to have to be here. Don't see settings. I know it's here. Oh, I know. I have to have a phone call. So the line is open. 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. This is your time to call. We got the move to Vegas. We have the passing of Tony Sperano, Tony Klein. If you're an older member of the Raider Nation, we could talk about your memories of Tony Klein as well. We have Kelechi Osemele being stated he has an overblown contract. And having said that, which leads me up to another subject we can talk about. I saw another article where it said the best position group within every team in the NFL, all 32 teams. And it stated that the best position group for the Raiders was the offensive line. And I agreed there. I mean, it stated how, Donald Penn is a rock at left tackle with the fact that he hasn't given up a lot of sacks. That how both Penn and Osemele and Gabe Jackson have been in the Pro Bowl the last couple of years. Penn hasn't, but Osemele has. Not Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, apologies. They've been in the Pro Bowl. So he has lived up to the contract. The position group is, we'll talk about, I'm going back and forth. We're talking about Greg Papa being cut. But you guys got to call in. 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. I don't hear anything. That's a shame. Because if we don't have participation, I'm going to go to sleep at the end of this show. And I hate saying that because I'm out here for 2 hours. I like to have some participation. And I'm not cracking the whip, but I mean, do you really want me to talk to you for a whole hour? I can do that. But I'm sure that you would much rather have that communication back and forth where we let other folks interject as well. So like I said, that line is open. Let me see who's in here tonight. Who is here? Who are my Cesar's here? Mike, was it Gonzalez? Okay. Cesar. Lance is in here as well. Lance and I have had some good conversation. Chris Lentz is here. Matt. There you go. Matt. Call in, Matt. 813-699-0834. 813-699-0834. Steve Running. Thanks for coming in. Joe Rios. There we go. I know you guys would have come in eventually because I know you didn't want to hear from me. Who do we got on the line? This is Captain Jack. Who is this?
It's Reggie Burdett.
Reggie. Okay. Make sure I will try to write it down. I like to try to get. I'll tell you what. You'll get a text message from me this week, so I'll say, hey, who is this? So the next time you call in, your name will be in there, and I'll know exactly who I'm speaking to. So how you doing tonight there, shipmate?
Doing real good, shipmate. How you doing today? From one Navy retiree to another, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, well, I'm glad you actually picked up on that. Good. Remember, shipmate, it's all in the inflection. If it has that positive inflection, it's a really good thing. If it has that negative inflection, like, come here, shipmate, like when I'm being the old chief that I am, you done effed up. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. So what was your career there, big guy?
Well, we've talked before. I was also at Gitmo. I was a corpsman.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. Well, good. Like I said, I'll give you a text after this, and or sometime this week, so we'll get that number in there. In fact, I'll try to write it down if I can find some scratch paper. So, what is on your mind tonight, Reggie?
Well, big fan for the Raiders since '74. Not as long as you, but pretty close. But I got a question to you about John Gruden.
Okay, let's talk about John Gruden.
His first tour with the Raiders before he was traded to Tampa Bay. He invested heavy in veterans.
Yep.
He was transferred to Tampa Bay.
And he did the same thing
Super
here.
Bowl. But then it seemed like everyone jumped on the press saying he let the Raiders get too old, too fast, and we hit a wall. They said that we had one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. Well, he's doing that again this time with veterans. Do you think that may happen again?
Yes and no. Okay. The one good thing that's going on here is that he inherited a very young team here where I'm hoping, and this is the big hope, I'm hoping that with the younger version, most of our roster is 5 years and below. And our core players in Carr, Mack, Cooper, 5 years in the NFL and below. So the core is young. Where we are older is at left tackle, obviously. Right tackle could be young if Miller comes in and plays there this year. Linebacker is both old and young with the guys that we came in that know how to play Gunther's defense. They're older, but we have some of the youngins there as well. So there's more of a mix match of the older veterans with some of the younger guys that we've got. So it's all up to the younger players to either gel and push these starters out, or bad things can happen down the road. I think that obviously Gruden is more comfortable talking with veterans, and in that respect, that's why there's a lot of veterans on this team. But if you take away a few of the key members, we still got a young team. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. But hopefully, it won't be an issue with us.
Well, I agree with you on a lot of points on that, but I think the major difference is it's not Bruce Allen and we got Reggie McKenzie.
True.
I think Reggie McKenzie's done a really good job. We got his Derek Carr, Khalil Mack. Now, even though we have to give some of the credit to Gruden and his boys, we got Mo Hurst, Arden Key. I agree with you that a lot of our core is young. But then I see Derek Johnson, and I see Reggie Nelson, and I see Penn, and they look like they're getting a little old and long in the tooth.
Right. But remember, though, that DJ, to me, is a 1 year stopgap. Reggie Nelson, to me, is a 1 year, even if he gets through this year, to teach what he knows, and he's gone. Okay? Even Breno Giacomini, who's allegedly going to be our right tackle this year. Wow, I don't know if you guys heard that, but that is some heavy-ass thunder. So I might want to back down the hatches. But Breno Giacomini is a stopgap at right tackle that's brought in to teach the cable system. All of these guys that were brought in that are older, that are longer in the tooth, are supposed to teach the system. And if they make the team, fantastic. But I can almost believe that maybe one or two of these guys that are in here in camp that are going to be teaching the system for their coach, either Giacomini with the O-line for cable, the linebackers like Whitehead and the other guy whose name escapes me, that's playing linebacker, teaching the Gunther system. Lamore, there you go. Thank you, sir. And Nelson in the back of the in secondary is going to be teaching the Gunther system. So once that teaching is done, and granted, here's the thing, they're not going to. Most veterans are not going to help you out, but they are going to have to be taught. The younger players are going to be taught by osmosis or taught by visual sightings. It's like, hey, how do you do that, or where did you get that information from? So some of it's going to rub off. Whether the veterans are going to be good in their souls, and I thought that I don't know if you caught the interview I had with John Madsen the other day, where he said that basically the veterans aren't going to help you out. And that's obvious because it's a very dog-eat-dog world, and the veterans know that the younger players are there to take their jobs. So some of it's going to be taught by either listening to what's being stated in the meetings and being doing and empathize, not empathizing, but basically putting yourself into what the veteran is doing. These are the younger players. So, and also in the case of DJ's never played under Gunther, so he's going to be learning a new system as well. But he has those like 12 to 14 years. I don't know how old he is, but he's got a lot of experience. He's got all that experience to that he can learn from, or that he can use as his backdrop. So we'll see. I don't think Giacomini lasts through training camp. I'd be very surprised, but he's there to teach. Miller is going to eventually be flipped over to left tackle. Parker allegedly is going to be flipped into right tackle, and then even David Sharp is there as a player that can be playing that right tackle position if Miller isn't ready this year and shows more than Breno Giacomini, and that concerns me, the offensive line as well. So I know this is a very convoluted way of saying it. We have the older players that are going to be teaching the younger players through their actions, through their thoughts, and we'll see what happens. I actually don't think that Nelson makes the roster, or if he does, he's on a very short leash because we got too many good safeties back there that are going to be wanting to take that job. If Nelson lasts the year, I think it's only a one-year rental.
Well, I think Worley will move from corner to safety.
Okay.
Him and Gilchrist together will be a good tandem.
Most definitely. But remember, you got the young guys of Joseph and Obi at safety as well. Plus, you have Walker and the young kid that came in from Utah, who I always forget his name. These are young players, and you also got Luani if he survives through those cuts. Remember, Worley is probably just like Gilchrist. Worley and Gilchrist can play both corner and safety, so we'll see what actually happens to them. Figure Conley's going to get on the one corner, and then the other gentleman that we got from the Colts is going to be the other corner. So those are your two starting corners right there, barring injuries.
I agree. Well, thanks a lot for talking to me tonight, Captain Jack. I don't want to eat up everybody else's time. Good talking to you.
Okay. Well, like I said, until we got phone calls, and I forgot to mention, I have it here, and I don't. Well, let's see. You were on for only 10 minutes. Hey, thanks again, there, shipmate. I will get your number, and that was Reggie, correct?
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Captain Jack. You have a great Navy day.
All right, you do too. That was Reggie, my bud, the corpsman, from us being together in Gitmo. Nice time down there. Kind of, sort of. I got Gitmo stories, but I won't tell you. I'm supposed to be doing timing on the calls, but you know what? I'll do that when we get a bunch of people to call in. Line is open. So we have that line open, 813-699-0834. Bear is in the house, Oso Raider. So let's see it. That line is open. Who wants to chime in? Because that was a damn good question. Damn good question. And I didn't have any prep for it either. So I hope my answer makes sense. this is going to be a transition year for the Raiders. And that's one of the reasons why I have the Raiders as a 8-8, 9-17. Everybody else has us. I shouldn't say everybody else, but a lot of people have us winning. If you're not Colin Cowherd, who has us winning only 5 games, he says we're a train wreck waiting to happen. I don't think we're going to be that bad. I really don't. Carr was on an MVP year in 2016 until he broke his leg, technically the ankle. Mack is a defensive player of the year a couple years ago. And once he gets into camp, he's going to show that. We got a lot of good players on this team, but it's going to be a little while till we gel. It's going to be a little while till we gel. And that's one of the reasons why I think we're going to lose that first Monday night game. And people hate me saying it. But until I see what I see in the preseason, and by the way, we're on the NFL Network first 3 weeks of the preseason, we're on TV. So I will be able to see what's going on in Oakland. They're all 10 o'clock games Eastern. But you know what? We'll be seen. And I doubt that the Raiders playing the Seahawks will make network, but it's possible. I don't see any other questions. Yep, Joe Rios hopefully stay healthy. I agree. What else we got here? Balance between Gruden's veterans and McKenzie's new guys. Yeah, I agree, Matt. Most definitely. And reliance on veterans. That's true, Matt. But like Reggie was saying, the fact that Bruce Allen was his yes man, go get him guy. Reggie McKenzie is not that. And I really like the fact that they're playing off each other, and he's not going to bankrupt our account with all of these old guys, so that there is veterans and younger players to be in there. You know, we'll see. Mike, NaVorro Bowman, as of right now, still a free agent. So the chances of us getting NaVorro Bowman, I mean, he knows what the number is. Reggie gave his agent a number. And it's up to Bowman to see what happens. I don't think Reggie's going to cave on that. I really don't. He might, but, I mean, honestly, the signing of DJ, Derek Johnson, made that the Raiders have the upper hand there. You know, we got the veterans. We got Whitehead. We got Lamore. We got DJ. You know, we got the young guys. I'd love to see Bowman back. But until he comes in on what we give him as what our number is, I think Bowman is outpricing himself, because he would have been signed already if his number was amenable to all the other teams that he wants to go to. Bowman is going to have to come down on his asking price, and that's not just for what the Raiders want, or it might be for the entire NFL, because Bowman is an all-pro, very capable linebacker. We saw that last year, how in a matter of hours after he was signed, he was running the defense. Now, granted, the defense was Mickey Mouse last year. I mean, basically, Bowman could have been the defensive coordinator because of with Ken Norton Jr. running it. My goodness, how awful that defense was. But Bowman came in there, had those calls within days, within hours, actually. I think he had like 36 hours before he played the first game. And I believe that first game was the Kansas City Thursday night game. I believe that was his first game. Somebody checked that, but I think I'm right. So we'll see. And until such a time, Mike, Bowman isn't going to be a Raider. It's a shame, but we'll see what the asking price is. And speaking, I'm glad I actually segued myself. Speaking of asking prices, I read another article today where it says it appears that the Raiders and the agent for Khalil Mack have been doing some talking within the last couple of days. So hopefully a new deal for Khalil Mack will come into effect soon. What soon is relative, but I think it'll happen. So we'll see what happens on the Khalil Mack front. So hopefully that'll be done quickly, and we'll go from there. Scary year. Gruden knows his X's no. No, Mike, I don't think the game has passed him by. I honestly think that, the day-to-day of what is going to be done with a team is newer to him, because things there are different. By the way, we have a line open, 813-699-0834. 813-699-0834. Line is open. Let's hear those calls. Gruden was stating how, the difference of when he was coaching, about how, he didn't have the sabermetric. He didn't have all of the computer data. He didn't have, the regimentation of about, what they had in the past. So he said, I don't want to, and he was even kidding about do we call it data or data? Data or data? Doesn't matter. Well, good. Saved by the phone call. Okay, Jerry D, call back in a minute. Tommy B, I got you on the line. Jerry D, call back in a couple minutes. How you doing there, Tommy?
I'm good.
Talk to me, Shane.
Hey, did you see the article that came out where John Gruden said he was confident that Mack would be in camp?
No, I didn't see the article, but like I said, I'm going to be doing this again. Jerry D, call back, brother. At least I know who it is. I'll see if I can get the settings where I don't hear it. Oh my goodness, there's a way to do this. Yeah, we'll have to do this. There's a way, but I ain't gonna mess with it right now. Tommy, I'm sorry. I didn't see the article. Like I said, the one article that I did see was how the writer stated that the Raiders are talking with Mack's agent, and they believe that he's going to be in camp in time. So it's quite possible that Gruden is using the same sources that he believes that they're going to be in camp. And remember, camp starts in about a week or two. So it's really quick.
I'm wondering if he hasn't been talking to Mack the whole time. He just said that he just didn't know.
Well, it's not tampering if he's already on the team. So in that respect, he can talk to Mack all he wants. Whether he would talk to Mack in a possible, and I don't like to use the term usurp, but that is a Reggie thing. So I probably think that Gruden is probably talking to him, saying, "Hey, brother, we need you in camp as soon as possible. We know that you got X amount that you want, and that's going to be up to your agent and Reggie getting together, but we want you." So in that respect, I think that's probably what the talk is about. Mack already has a copy of the playbook, so at least he knows what it is on paper, but he doesn't have the in the ears time where Gunther is out there teaching him on the field, and that's what he's missing. So hopefully that will happen, and he will be coming into camp. Again, that's what all reports are. The same reports stated that Aaron Donald's going to be in for camp, and he's in a similar situation. So we'll see if these guys get their butts into camp, and I most certainly think they will. And if you can, go ahead and cite the report if you can find it, and this way we'll have it to say according to this source, because I work as an analyst, and if I don't see it or I don't see the source, I don't believe it.
I know. I posted it in a bunch of groups. I can send it to you or to your wall after the show.
That'd be fantastic.
After the second hour, if you do a second hour, I'll send it to you to your page or to your actual personal Facebook page.
Yeah, go ahead and send it. Go ahead and send it to the Captain Jack page, and also send it to the my personal page. I'd like to see it because again, I know what the source that I had was, and I can't remember it. It didn't cite Gruden saying it. It stated that the Raiders were talking with his agent. So that makes me feel better. Whether it's a good source or not, we'll see.
And I got one more question. And the guy that I'm going to ask you about, I know he was a former Raider. He's actually from the same city that I'm in right now, in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Okay.
He played for the Raiders back in the day.
Okay.
He actually saved my life.
Wow.
Because at the time I was to the left, and he helped me straighten my life out to the right side.
Okay, well, good.
He actually passed away a couple years ago. I want to see if you could know where I could find a jersey of his.
And who is
it's Fulton Walker.
Fulton Walker, number 41. Yes, sir.
Right.
I know that the only way, I haven't seen any that are available, and rest in peace to Mr. Walker, great return guy for the Raiders, by the way.
Yes.
After a great career with the Dolphins. I'm sorry to hear of his passing. I sometimes people pass and you forget that they're gone. As far as your question, the only way you're probably going to get a Fulton Walker jersey is actually two, is eBay, and I don't recommend this unless you have money to waste, those Chinese sites that say that they can make any jersey, but buyer beware.
I mean, I've got pictures that he's autographed, and I've got different stuff. Because like I said, I even had him, and he used to coach, was assistant football coach here at the high school and everything.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good things about Mr. Walker, dating back from obviously my time here in Florida and his time with the Dolphins. So, I got a couple buddies from down South Florida that,
Which one, Kevin?
Kevin who?
His son.
No, actually, I don't know any of his family. I just heard good things from people that knew him from his time with the Dolphins.
Oh. Yeah, he passed, Jesus, 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
But, I mean, I've seen, highlight tapes of him, but we just wanted to see what else you knew about him that I didn't already know.
No, like I said, his death might have escaped me from my memory. We've lost a lot of players recently. In fact, you can make a mini Hall of Fame from the amount of players that we've lost recently. A lot of defensive players as well. So hopefully that won't continue. I mean, I know that the old adage, there's only two things that are guaranteed: death and taxes. So eventually it will happen, but I hate talking about it. I like to talk about happier things. But I'm very happy to state here that he was instrumental in doing a reboot on you, getting
He's
you.
done it to a lot of kids here in Martinsburg. He's done that a lot. The kids here in Martinsburg.
Well, I tell you what,
he's helped a lot of kids.
Right. I was going to say, if you have contact with his son, I'd love to get in contact with his son and maybe have him come on, because I love to have interviews with. We're going to have a couple family interviews. I'm hoping to get Kendra Stabler-Moyes on sometime soon. I know that Andrea Villapiano is going to be on sometime soon. And anytime that they have, and we've already had Alonzo on, the fact that Skip Thomas's son. So it's good to get that perspective from the families of players as well, because you learn insight that you wouldn't normally get.
Well, I'll see if I can't get a hold of his son Kevin and everything. I know Kevin's busy.
Yes, sir. I would understand that.
All right, I'll get off here so somebody else can get in.
All right. Well, thanks, Tommy. Appreciate hearing from you again. Always a pleasure.
Yep, you too, Captain.
All right. That was Mr. Tommy Beard. Always enjoy hearing from him as well. Got some regulars here. I will state that Ruben has joined us, but Ruben, I believe, is probably going to save his ammo towards the second hour, which will be coming up. We'll be flipping over to the Captain Jack page at the top of the hour. Jerry D is on the hook to give us a call. Jerry, like I said, unfortunately, I only have the one line. So you are ready to go. Rock and roll, shipmate. You know what the number is because obviously it came in for you. But I can only do one guy at a time. Call-wise. Let me rephrase that. I can only take one caller at a time. Oh, man. Boy, that's horrible. Horrible to say. I can only take one caller at a time. So line is open. Ruben, I'm sure, is probably gonna wait for a little while to give us his ammunition. He's been waiting almost a whole week, as I told him we would be doing it again. Jerry D is calling. Thank you there, shipmate. Jerry D, good to hear from you, brother.
How you doing tonight, Cap? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Just chilling out, relaxing. Well, let's talk about a little bit about the move. Can I talk about it now, or is it for the second hour?
Oh, no, you can talk about it now.
Oakland, I mean, I feel sorry for the people that live in it. I mean, I'm from New York, so I'm not, close. I don't live by the stadium or anything like that or near it. So, but I think they needed a new stadium. Oakland did not provide it. It did not come through. And the Las Vegas Stadium is going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think anything's going to change. The mystique, the uniforms, anything like that. I think everything's going to be the same.
But see, you and I think almost everybody here is for the move.
Yeah.
There's only one person that's called in. Thanks, Danny. There's only one person that's called in, and Ruben, like I said, you're gonna. I got 2 hours, Ruben. I know you're out in California. You can afford to stay up for that second hour. I can't, or I will. And Ruben, you can get rid of your bullets if nobody calls in that second hour or immediately. Go ahead. But Ruben and the only other person that stated, and it basically they stated the same thing as you, Jerry. I feel bad for the folks that are in the Bay that have been lifelong Raider fans that go to all of the games. I mean, I'm a season ticket holder, but I live in Florida. I can't go to all the games. I got to sell tickets.
Right.
But, and it took me a while to get my season tickets back because, it was a bit, I didn't get them last year when I was supposed to, and that really ticked me off. And, you would think if I have a military reason to not have tickets, and it would be, at least honored. It was this year. So I great respect for my ticket agent, and I can't remember who he is, but I've spoken to him a couple times. He actually pushed me off to the suite holder person. I can't remember what they are, but I'm in the suites, and I feel bad for the folks, all the folks that go out there on a regular basis. And it's also not only the fans, but also the people that are employed at the stadium. Those folks, that is one of the only jobs, or maybe that might be the only job that they have in that time of year. maybe it's a part-time job, but those people that have the part-time jobs at the stadium during the season, when it's not baseball, you know, that might be one of their very few sources of income. And economically, it's going to hurt those people as well. I'm not an a-hole thinking it's going to be all hunky-dory. But as you stated, the Raiders have needed a new stadium for over 30 years. For over 30 years. And it's a cesspool. And things will be done. And that new stadium is going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be dynamic. And you're going to have a lot of fans there. Hopefully, it will remain a staunchly Raiders-supported stadium, but up until that time when the Raiders start to become like a mediocre team, you are going to see people in droves leave for the high prices of a ticket, and I'm sure Ruben's going to get into that. I'm sure Ruben's going to get into that, but you're going to see a bunch of people that are there that were given comp tickets by the casinos and figured, well, what else am I going to do on a Sunday? Well, I might as well go to the game because, you know, the Sands gave me 2 tickets to the game. And that's the way it's going to be. Unless the real fans, the staunch fans, the true fanatics go in there and buy up the tickets, it's going to be a sold out game, but it's not going to be a hearty sold out game because they're going to be the fans that are actually supportive of either the Raiders or the opposition, and the fans that are going over there that are kind of like, yeah, that was nice. And they'll go back into reading their book or their iPad or whatever the hell else they got on them. And they're not really watching. They're just there for the event, and that's a shame.
Well, I got faith in the nation. I think they'll show up. You know what I mean?
I think they will. But again, when you start to see the record go down.
Right.
Now, granted, we got to get that record up. So once we get that record up and, you know, we continue to hopefully be a perennial winner where we're a perennial team that is looking at the playoffs. And I think we have the roster within this year. Again, not quite this year. Might get it this year. But again, I'm thinking next year.
Definitely next year.
When we have the roster,
they should be a winner on their way to Vegas.
They will be, but then here's the thing: say they're only a winner for the 20, 21, and 22 season. Let's give them 3 years, okay?
Right.
What happens in 23 and 24 when they start to dip record wise?
Well, hopefully the fans just stay loyal. But I mean, it comes down to loyalty.
Right.
You're going to run one thing, then you're a bandwagon fan. Who the hell needs you?
Exactly. But remember, a lot of those bandwagon fans are the guys that are buying up those extra tickets. They're the ones that are the remaining, hey, guys, we got tickets. And then the bandwagon guys are, sure, I'll buy them. Now, granted, most of the fanatics, most of the true and dyed in the, well, I ain't going to say dyed in blue, dyed in the black and silver are the ones, God, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that?
That was, yeah, was that thunder? That was loud.
That was thunder. So, by the way, if I have a power outage, I'm letting you guys know, I didn't hang up on anybody. If the computer crashes due to a power surge, that's the reason why. So I didn't hang up on anybody, but be aware that, God forbid you don't hear from me. That's the reason why. But, yeah, the true fans are going to stick. We'll see what happens with the fans that are not really dyed in the wool. There you go.
I know Ruben's going to come in later with his Mark Davis rant.
Yeah.
I think Mark Davis is he brought in Rubin. I mean, I think the guy wants the best for the team. I really do.
He does, in my mind as well, or he wouldn't have hired Gruden. He wouldn't have actually, in my mind, he didn't overpay for Gruden, but he had to give something more. He had to give something more than what he was getting at ESPN. He had to give him an enticement to leave ESPN because ESPN was his employer for so long.
Definitely.
And Jerry D, I'm up against the break, partner. Is there anything else? or did you want to continue on the line when we go to the second hour?
Yeah, I'll charge my phone. I'll get you in the second hour.
Okay, well then I'm going to say goodbye to you now. That was Jerry D. Always good to hear from him as well. And for those that were counting, he was only on for 8 minutes. So don't bitch until we have folks that are here all the time. I'm gonna let folks talk. You got another call, we'll do that. But that is the conclusion of the Raider Reaction show for Sunday night. Ask the Captain. Join you. Yeah, Jerry, I clicked off, Jerry. That's why. You said you would call back in, so that's why I wanted to have a clean break. You are welcome for the second hour to call back and recharge the phone. There you go. And we'll be doing it again. This is the end of hour 1, Raider Reaction. Ask Captain Jack. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Be sure to go over to the Captain Jack Rackham page, and I'll be right over there in just a few minutes. Yar!